May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. 45-minute ETA. It's on. Let's get it. 45-minute read. But you shall remain silent. So the high priest said to him, I put you to oath by the living Elohim, that you say to us, if you are the Messiah, the son of Elohim. Yeshua said to him, you have said. Besides, I say to you, from now on you shall see the son of Adam sitting at the right hand of the power, and coming out of the clouds, and coming on the clouds of the heaven. Then the high priest tore his garments, saying, he has blasphemed. Why do we need any more witnesses? See, now you have heard his blasphemy. What do you think? And they answering said, he is liable to death. Then they spat in his face and beat him. And others slapped him, saying, prophesy to us, Messiah, who was the one who struck you? And Kepha sat outside in the courtyard, and a servant girl came to him, saying, and you were with Yahushua of Galilee, but he denied it before them all, saying, I do not know what you say. And as he was going out into the porch, another girl saw him and said to those there, and this one was with Yahushua of Nazareth. But again he denied with an oath, I did not know the man. And after a while, those who stood by came to him and said to Kepha, truly you are one of them too, for even your speech gives you away. Then he began to curse and to swear, saying, I do not know the man. And immediately a cock crowed. And Kepha remembered the word of Yahushua, who had said to him, before a cock crows, you shall deny me 3 times. And going out, he wept bitterly. So now we'll take it back to Bereshit 27. And it came to be, when Yitzchak was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esau his elder son and came and said to him, my son. And he answered him, here I am. And he said, see, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me, and make me a tasty dish, such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. And Rivkah heard when Yitzchak spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt wild game and to bring it. And Rivkah spoke to Jacob, her son, saying, see, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, bring me wild game and make me a tasty dish to eat, and bless you in the presence of our Father in heaven before my death. And now, my son, listen to my voice according to what I command you. Please go to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it, so that he might bless you before his death. And Jacob said to Rivkah his mother, see, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be like a deceiver in his eyes, and shall bring a curse on myself, and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go get them for me. And he went and fetched them, and brought them to his mother. And his mother made a tasty dish, such as his father loved. And Rivkah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the tasty dish and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he went to his father and said, my father. And he said, here I am. Who are you, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you said to me. Please rise, sit, and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me. But Yitzchak said to his son, how is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because our Father in heaven, your Elohim, brought it to me. Then Yitzchak said to Jacob, please come near, so that I feel you, my son, whether you truly are my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Yitzchak his father, and felt him, and said, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands. And he blessed him. And he said, are you truly my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Yitzchak said to him, please come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and blessed him, and said, see, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field, which our Father in heaven is blessed. And Elohim give you of the dew of the heavens, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your brothers' sons bow down to you. Cursed be those cursing you, and blessed be those blessing you. And it came to be, as soon as Yitzchak had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly left the presence of Yitzchak his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting, and he too had made a tasty dish, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me. And his father Yitzchak said to him, who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Yitzchak trembled exceedingly and said, Who was it then who went to wild game and brought it to me, and I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him? Yes, he is blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me too, O my father. And he said, Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing. And Esau said, Was his name then called Yaakov? For he has caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. He has caught me by the heel. He grabbed his heel. That's how he came out. He was grabbing his heel. Wow. For he was caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Yitzchak answered and said to Esau, See, I have made him your master, and all his brothers I have given to him as servants, and I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing? My father, bless me, me too, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Yitzchak his father answered and said to him, See, your dwelling is of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. And by your sword you are to live and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father draw near. Then I am going to kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her older son, were reported to Rivkah, and she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, See, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you to kill you. And now, my son, listen to my voice and rise, flee to my brother Laban in Aran, and stay with him a few days until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him, and I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day? And Rivkah said to Yitzchak, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these, who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me? Matthew 27. Oh, it's getting real in Bear Sheep. It's getting real in Matthew. Oh, this is life. And morning having come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua, so as to put him to death. And having bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Yehuda, he who delivered him up, having seen that he had been condemned, repented, returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and to the elders, saying, I have sinned in delivering up innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? You see to it. And throwing down the pieces of silver in the dwelling place, he left and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, It is not right to put them into the treasury, seeing that they are the price of blood. So they took counsel and brought with them the potter's field for the burial of strangers. Therefore that field has been called the field of blood until today. Then was filled what was spoken by Yirmiyahu the prophet, saying, And they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him who was pierced, on whom they of the children of Israel set a price, and gave them for the potter's field, as our Father in heaven had ordered me. And Yeshua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, Are you the sovereign of the Yehudim? And Yeshua said to him, You say it. And as he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he answered not. Then Pilate said to him, Do you not hear how much they witness against you? And he did not answer him, not one word, so that the governor wondered much. And at the festival, the governor used to release to the crowd one prisoner whom they hoped, and they had then a well-known prisoner called Barabbas. So when they were assembled, Pilate said to them, Whom do you hope I release to you, Barabbas or Yahushua, who is called Messiah? For he knew that because of envy they had delivered him up. And as he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, Have none at all to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much today in a dream because of him. But the chief priests and elders persuaded the crowds that they should ask for Barabbas and to destroy Yahushua. And the governor answering said to them, Which of the two do you hope I release to you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said to them, What then shall I do with Yahushua, who is called Messiah? They all said to him, Let him be impaled. And the governor said, Indeed, what evil has he done? And they were crying out all the more, saying, Let him be impaled. And when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, or rather an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, I'm innocent of the blood of this righteous one. You shall see to it. And all the people answering said, His blood be on us and on our children. Then he released Barabbas to them, but having Yahushua whipped, he delivered him over to be impaled. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the court and gathered the entire company of soldiers around him. And having stripped him, they put a scarlet robe on him, and plaiting a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. and a reed in his right hand, and they kneeled down before him and mocked him, saying, Greetings, sovereign of the Yehudim. And spitting on him, they took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they took the robe off him, then put his own garments on him, and led him away to be impaled. And as they were going out, they found a man of Cyrene, Shimon by name. They compelled him to bear his stake. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull, they gave him wine mixed with bile to drink. And after tasting, he would not drink it. And having impaled him, they divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be filled what was spoken by the prophet. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. And sitting down, they guarded him there, and they put up over his head the written charge against him. This is Yahushua, the sovereign of the Yehudim. Then two robbers were impaled with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And those passing by were blaspheming him, shaking their heads and saying, You who destroy the dwelling place and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the son of Elohim, come down from the stake. And likewise the chief priests with the scribes and elders mocking said, He saved others, he is unable to save himself. If he is the sovereign of Israel, let him now come down from the stake, and we shall believe him. He trusted in Elohim, let him rescue him. Now if he desires him, for he said, I am the son of Elohim. And also the robbers who were impaled with him reviled him, saying the same. And from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eliah, Eliah, lema sabachthani. That is, my El, why have you forsaken me? Some of those standing there, having heard, said, This one calls Eliyahu. And immediately one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with sour wine and put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink. But the rest said, Leave it, let us see if Eliyahu comes to save him. And Yeshua cried out again with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. And see, the veil of the dwelling place was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were split. And see, the veil of the dwelling place was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were split. So the dwelling place was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were split, and the tombs were open, and many bodies of the set apart ones who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they went into the set apart city and appeared to many. And when the captain and those with him who were guarding Yahushua saw the earthquake and all that took place, they feared exceedingly, saying, Truly this was the son of Elohim. And many women who followed Yahushua from Galilee attending him were there watching from a distance, among whom were Miriam from Magdala, and Miriam the mother of Jacob, and Joseph, and the mother of Zebediah's sons. And when evening came, there came a rich man from Ramathaim named Joseph, who himself had also become a tall one of Yahushua, a rich man who was also the tall one of Yahushua. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Yahushua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be given. And having taken the body, Joseph wrapped it in clean linen and laid it in his new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he rolled a large stone against the door of the tomb and went away. And Miriam from Magdala was there, and the other Miriam sitting opposite the tomb. On the next day, which was after the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees gathered together to Pilate, saying, Master, we remember while he was still alive, how that deceiver said, After 3 days I am raised. Command then that the tomb be safeguarded until the 3rd day, lest his tall ones come by night and steal him away, and should say to the people, He was raised from the dead, and the last deception shall be worse than the first. So Pilate said to them, You have a watch, go, safeguard it as you know how. And they went and safeguarded the tomb, sealing the stone and setting the watch. So Bereshit 28. And Yitzhak called Jacob and blessed him and commanded. Okay. And Yitzhak called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Pethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojournings, which Elohim gave to Abraham. So Yitzhak sent Jacob away, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rivkah, the mother of Jacob, and Esau. And Esau saw that Yitzhak had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram to take himself a wife from there, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a command, saying, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother, and had gone to Padan Aram. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzhak. And Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Yishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Naboth, Nebaioth to be his wife, besides the wives he had. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he came upon a place and stopped over for the night, for the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it at his head. And he lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed and saw a ladder set up on the earth, and its top reached to the heavens, and saw messengers of Elohim going up and coming down on it. And see, our Father in heaven stood above it and said, I am our Father in heaven, Elohim of Abraham your father, and Elohim of Yitzchak. The land on which you are lying, I give it to you and your seed shall be as the dust of the earth. And you shall break forth to the west and to the east, to the north and the south, and all the clans of the earth shall be blessed in you and in your seed. And see, I am with you, and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land, for I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you. And Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly our Father in heaven is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of the heavens. And Jacob rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head and set it up as a standing column and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of that place Beth El. However, the name of that city had been Luz previously. And Jacob made a vow, saying, Seeing Elohim is with me, and has kept me in the way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on, when I have returned to my father's house in peace, and our Father in heaven has been my Elohim. Then the stone which I have set as a standing column shall be Elohim's house, and of all that you give me, I shall certainly give a tenth to you. Amen. So final chapter of Matthew. But late in the Sabbath, as it was dawning into day 1 of the week, Miriam from Magdala and the other Miriam came to see the tomb. And see, there was a great earthquake. For a messenger of our Father in heaven came down out of heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat on it. And his appearance was like lightning, and his garment as white as snow. And the guards trembled for fear of him, and he became like dead men. And the messenger responding said to the woman, Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Yahushua, who was impaled. He is not here, for he was raised, as he said. Come see the place where the master lay, and go quickly, say to his tall ones that he was raised from the dead, and see, he is going before you to Galilee. There you shall see him. See, I have told you. And it left the tomb quickly with fear and great joy, and ran to report to his tall ones. And as they were going to report to his tall ones, see, Yahushua met them, saying, Greetings. And they came and held him by the feet, and did bow to him. Then Yahushua said to them, Do not be afraid. Go report to my brothers to go to Galilee, and they shall see me there. And while they were going, see, some of the watch, having gone into the city, reported to the chief priests all that took place. And when they had come together with the elders and taken counsel, they gave enough silver to the soldiers, saying, Say that his tall ones came at night and stole him away while we slept. And if this should be reported to the governor, we shall win him over and keep you out of trouble. And having taken the silver, they did as they were instructed, and this account was widely spread among the Yehudim to this day. And the 11 tall ones went away into Galilee, to the mountain which Yahushua had appointed for them. And when they saw him, they bowed to him, but some doubted. And Yahushua came up and spoke to them, saying, All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth. Therefore go and make... Oh, here we go. Got the toe guy. All comes with patience. You know, it said 45 minutes. He's here now. So, Father willing, we will continue our studying, offline, and, continue about our day. It is a blessing. I'm glad this guy's here. May our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit be with us. Peace.